Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. To us, OC stands for community because we believe that our community thrives when we come together. That's why we thank you for joining us each Tuesday evening on channel 56.10 and on Wednesday morning. As you know, this is a bilingual English and Vietnamese program dedicated to educating, empowering, and inspiring our community. And on our show today, we have Izzy Paskowitz, the founder and the president of Surfers Healing, and a person that I love to call my friend. Today, we have a great opportunity to learn more about autism, April Autism Awareness Month, and the importance of why we need to include each and every person in our community. Julie Yip kính chào quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV trong chương trình Kiến thức Y khoa, Gia đình và Xã hội. Chương trình đây là chương trình song ngữ. Julie hy vọng nói về thông tin rất là quan trọng cho quý vị. Hôm nay là April Autism Awareness Month, một tháng để dành cho tự kỷ. Mà hôm nay Julie cũng có thời gian nói chuyện với Izzy Paskowitz. Đó là một người sáng lập ra về president của Surfers Healing. Surfers Healing là một cái hội từ thiện giúp cho rất nhiều em có khuyết tật mà có tự kỷ đặc biệt để cho ra ngoài được surfing với rất nhiều người. Izzy, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Julie.
Well, you know, it's been such a long time since I had the opportunity to sit down with you. I'm just so excited for you to be here and to share about your story and for people to know that Surfers Healing is the OG, the original surf camp, organization to help kids with disabilities. Can you tell me a little bit about why you started that organization?
I started, and it's such a pleasure to be here, Julie. We haven't seen you in a while, so this is very cool, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to share, my small story and my part of autism, because like all other parents, it began, out of necessity, out of destiny, maybe a God-given gift, maybe a curse. But I was a pro surfer, and I got married young to my beautiful bride Danielle, and we started a family. And I was hoping that it would go perfect. I thought life was supposed to be perfect if you have the most beautiful girl and you're a talented pro surfer. Surely, everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to, work out the way, I dreamt. So we had Ella, our first child, and she was born perfect. And then we had Isaiah, and Isaiah was imperfect and had a diagnosis of autism probably at 2 years old. But in the meantime, I was still a professional surfer and traveling and just coming to grips with the acceptance, kind of the hardest part, I think, for me of autism, because I'm a pro surfer and I had this wonderful life and beautiful people, and I wouldn't even need an ID to cash my check in Australia because everyone saw me on TV and knew who I was. So that was such a great contrast to who I was and who my son was and who he was going to be. So it took a lot of acceptance and a lot of hard time. It wasn't easy, like a lot of parents have to deal with. And so it was just a stroke of luck with Isaiah. I never had him in the water. I didn't think he was supposed to be in the water surfing. Right? I mean, my dream.
So you didn't know his true abilities?
No, I thought my dream was done. Yeah. And there was wasn't going to be any connection between my son and I surfing until I threw him in the water. And
how old was he when you put him in?
Probably 5 years old. And just behavior was better. That day he spoke for the first time. He napped for the first time. So it was that aha moment that there was something therapeutic in the water, and it was a trip to Hawaii, and I was competing for the World Championship, and just the pressures of all that. I did horrible in the contest, but but I came home with that idea of having a connection with my son in the water surfing, because he didn't have to be me. He didn't have to be a great surfer. He didn't even have to be good. We could just be in the water together, and that was that beautiful bond that we could have together. And I love it. And he still goes in the water with me.
Wow.
And he's 31 years old now. He's not a little 5-year-old. He's 6'3.5". He's over 300 pounds. He's bald. He's fat. He's got eczema everywhere. And
but he's your joy, and he's your inspiration, right?
He is perfect.
Oh, well, so that's how Surfers Healing began. Just going that first experience, giving you that light bulb moment.
Yeah, for sure. That was the moment I said, aha, it worked with Isaiah. He's a little calmer. It seemed like there was something, therapeutic,
Yes.
But as a dumb surfer back then, I wouldn't even use that word. I was like, he didn't caught myself before I said the S word.
I told you to clean up for the show.
Yeah, I'm cleaning up. I'm cleaning it up. But he was better that day. He didn't have bad behaviors. They carried with him that therapeutic effect, and it was the water that was the magic potion.
I think it's the water plus you, the dad, being very present in that moment with him.
It was awesome. So we went back home, and after that World Championship on the North Shore of Hawaii, and went back home to San Clemente, and then I thought I would take one of his classmates out, and then he came every Wednesday, and kind of same effect, where it was very difficult getting him in the water, required somebody with the surfing ability, the ocean knowledge,
and some
to
behavior.
be very kind of proactive, very reactive and pragmatic. If a child's jumping, do this and that to keep him on the surfboard and get him out to the lineup where the waves were, and then turn around and ride a wave and stand the child up. So it kind of the same effect. Then I went through his whole class.
Wow.
And then we started having a small group camp in '96.
So how many years has Surfers Healing been around?
Remember, I'm not the smartest surfer. Since '96. What is that?
Since '96. Oh, I'm horrible. I'm dyslexic. So you and I can't even do the math.
If you take it.
Well, Izzy, thank you so much. I'm going to try to translate and interpret this for our community. Thưa quý vị, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Izzy Paskowitz, đó là President and the founder of Surfers Healing. Surfers Healing là một trung tâm là non-profit since 1996, là 1996. Izzy chia sẻ với mình đó là Izzy có một đứa con bị tự kỷ, đó là em Isaiah. Hầu Isaiah nhỏ lớn là Isaiah cũng có rất nhiều cái hành vi về tự kỷ, về nhiều cái khó khăn. Mà Izzy là một người rất là nổi tiếng về surfing, là đó là pro surfer, là đăng hầu xưa là trong rất nhiều cái championship. Mà Izzy nói đó là cái cuộc đời của Izzy rất là perfect, là vợ xinh đẹp, về có gia đình tốt đẹp. Mà lúc mà có Isaiah thì Izzy nói đó là it doesn't feel like perfect. Mà hiện tại đó, lúc mà Izzy nói đó là lúc 5 tuổi Isaiah được ra lên surfboard vô nước á, là Isaiah là khác liền. Là lúc đó cái thời gian, cái câu hỏi mà được với con trong cái surfboard đó là perfect, là đúng là đặc biệt cho con. Izzy nói đó là trong thời gian mà Izzy giúp cho Isaiah, Izzy rất giúp thêm mấy học sinh trong lớp của Isaiah mà thấy cái kết quả cũng giống nhau, thì mới lúc sau đó mới tạo ra Surfers Healing. Izzy, I'm trying my best to kind of recap what you're talking about, but the birth of Surfers Healing is so intimate and so personal to you. Like you said, it was either a curse or a calling or a gift or whatever it is. I think, when you and I live with autism or have families with autism, we know some of the challenges, but we also know the joys that other people don't get to experience. I think so. After the commercial break, we're going to continue our conversation and talk a lot more detail. Thưa quý vị, hôm nay Julie có thời gian nói chuyện với Izzy. Sau vòng quảng cáo, chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục nói chuyện với Izzy Paskowitz, đó là President của Surfers Healing. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV.